Alright, well, what's up everyone? I just got back from my spring break like 2 days ago, which was, it's really like just called Easter break here. And it's like their fall season around here, so it's really not Easter break, or spring break, but it's like spring break back home, so we all called it spring break. I figured I'd just talk about that, really, and I'll try to go through it day by day. See if I can remember it all. I didn't really write anything down or anything like that. But, alright, let's see. So we flew out of here 2 Fridays ago. So let me look at my calendar. 2 Fridays ago would have been March. So the 29th of March we flew out of Brisbane. At night, overnight flight, we got to Cairns, which is northeast in Australia, to do like the Great Barrier Reef and stuff like that. We get there at like 1:30 in the morning, going to like show up at our hostel, and they tell us that our travel agent canceled our reservations and they were like completely full on rooms. So in Australia, don't know like where we are. It's got whatever cash we brought with, trying to find, or then we found out that our hotel room was canceled. We had a room of 8 originally, total group of like 15 people, and they were like one of the rooms was 8 of us, and it ended up being like the only way they could like get us in there was like throw us all in like by ourselves in like rooms with other people, so that kind of sucked. So instead of like being in our big group, we were all split up, but it was still okay. So we had to wake up that morning at like 6:30 or 7 after like that whole debacle, and we went scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef, which was still awesome. Went on a boat called the Passions of Paradise. I scuba in 2 different spots. It was really cool. Scuba diving is definitely a weird thing to like breathe underwater. It's weird to like get your body to like realize that it's okay to breathe, but once you like figure it out, it's like really cool. They just like, and they'll like balance out your weight, so you just kind of like float like motionless in the water. You don't like sink or rise if like your weight is all set right, so that's really cool. Saw turtles and some like sharks and all like, you know, the really colorful fish like in Finding Nemo and stuff like that. So that was really awesome. That night, that was just like a little day trip. Came back, went out that night, and then the next day we went bungee jumping. We kind of just hung out by the pool that next day. Then we went bungee jumping that night. That was really crazy. That was cool. It was it's like a 50 meter, it's like 164 feet I think it was, which isn't like extremely high by any bungee jumping standards, but we got to like touch the water. Like you could like, say you wanted to touch like this little like pond at the bottom, and like me and Matt ended up going like up to our waists, so we were like soaked, but it was still cool. There's a lot higher ones, but it was still really cool. And let's see, we went at night, so that was a little bit different than I think what most people get to do. So then after that we came back to the hostel. Just kind of like, there was like a bar attached to our hostel, so we would just pretty much go out there. So came back from that, and we went out that night. The next day we just kind of like hung around and ended up going to this like like waterfall. There's like it's called Crystal Cascades, but then we like heard of this like waterfall like off like a secret one like off by itself, and so I got to like go to kind of like one that nobody goes to, and we were more like secluded from like the touristy stuff, so that was awesome. And then that night we took a Greyhound bus that left at midnight and got to the Whitsundays at like 11 in the morning. It's like 11-hour bus ride. Somehow I actually slept the whole way, which is really unlike me. I usually can't like sleep sitting up. So we got to the Whitsundays, which is just like a little small like beach town, a lot smaller than like Cairns. But that's where you go to like, the town is called Airlie Beach. All like the islands off the shore of that town are called the Whitsundays. But Airlie Beach is really cool. See, the first day we were there, we just kind of hung out, and yeah, we didn't really have that much like planned for that day, I don't think. But then the next day we were gonna go, or we did go on this like sailboat, and the sailboat was called like the Spank Me boat, and I guess it wasn't like crazy parties, but like we just like casually drank on it pretty much the whole time. Well, in the afternoons and evenings. But that was like a 3-day, 2-night sail around the Whitsundays. Went to all like some like the best spots around there. Went to Whitehaven Beach, which is the nicest sand in like the whole world. It was ridiculous. It felt like flour, really, or something like that. Like it just didn't even feel like sand. It doesn't like the sand like doesn't hold any heat, so it was like cool even in like the baking sun. It was just really awesome. That was during the second, so that was after the first night, so the second day on the sailboat. Then I don't know, we kind of snorkeled a bunch of places, saw more like cool fish and stuff like that. And then after that, I didn't really like sleeping on a sailboat. It was really rocky, and both like mornings I woke up just feeling pretty crappy. The second day that I woke up wasn't too bad, because I took a bunch of seasickness medicine. And then on the way back, we were like sailing into, we were probably like a mile away from like getting back to Airlie Beach, and there was like all these like ominous clouds, and I looked at Matt and said like, think we'll be able to beat that rain into the shore? And he's like, oh yeah, probably. And like it just like changed in like no time. Like 5 minutes later, it just got like really dark, and like me and Matt were like sitting by the skipper and the deckhands, and like the skipper was just like to his deckhands like under his breath like, oh, this is gonna get really S-word. And so me and Matt like knew that it was gonna get pretty hectic, and the boat was like, and like this like huge gust of wind came, and like the sails were out, so it like tipped the boat all, like felt like we were gonna like tip over or like slide off the deck or whatever. And like all the crew was like frantically like trying to like get the sail down, and talked, and they like got it down or whatever. Once it was down, like we were okay. Talked to one of like the deckhands afterwards, and he said that like two of the, shoot, I really hope this doesn't, if my camera does, I'd be really upset. Alright, 2 of the runners that hold up the whole mast broke, with leaving only one. And if that one would have broke, he said the whole mast would have fallen down, which would have been crazy. But it didn't, luckily. We were fine. Got back, got the full like sailing experience. And then besides, after we got back that night, we just kind of hung out. on Airlie Beach around the town. We had one more day after that, and we just kind of hung out again. The pool, there's like some like shops and stuff like that around the town. And then flew back Sunday, like midday, so we were gone like Friday, whole week, another weekend to a Sunday. And now it's Tuesday night and I'm back in school. Awesome. But no, it was probably the most amazing trip I've ever done. Like a trip within a trip, really. But yeah, I spent a lot of money, so sorry Mom and Dad about that, but it was worth it to me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My camera's like flashing and I don't want to have this video die out on me, so I will make another one of these that's not specifically about my trip probably, and then I'll also put up some footage of the trip. But yeah, I miss everybody. Talk to you as much as I can, and yeah, see y'all later.